Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Wahid, a PhD student at Oxford University and a medical doctor in the UK's National Health Service. Now, if you haven't watched my videos before, on this channel I like to talk about the systems, frameworks and gadgets that I use to find focus and overcome procrastination with ADHD. With our propensity towards inattention, hyperactivity and impulsivity, it's far too easy to procrastinate with ADHD and end up being sidetracked from your university studies or work and aimlessly spend time scrolling on your phone. I'm going to teach you 5 strategies to help you get your screen time down to below 4 hours a day and go from viewing your phone as a time suck to it being a productivity enabler. In Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about the 3 key layers of behavioral change. Central to building good habits is to change your identity. The beliefs we hold about ourselves influence our long-term behavior. So for example, if you start to identify yourself as a high-performing student with ADHD, then you'll be absolutely gutted if you wasted your whole day on your phone scrolling on social media. James Clear mentions in his book, and this really hit me, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. Each action that you perform reinforces your self-identity, and your identity is fundamentally defined by the habits you have. The second layer of behavior change is changing your processes to build good systems that make it easier for you to continue on with your behavior change, to keep on to good habits. Now that's something I'm really interested in exploring on this channel. What systems or strategies can I put in place to help me focus better with ADHD? Well, that's what I'm going to touch on in this video. It's easy to say you want to cut down on your screen time or social media use and have less distractions, but what are some of the practical things you can put in place to help you achieve it? I'm going to share with you 5 ways that I've taken the friction out of getting my screen time down to 4 hours a day, and how you can do this too. Keep watching and subscribe to my channel to learn more. Let's get into it. Set up focus on your iPhone. Since iOS 15, Apple has introduced the focus feature, which, don't get me wrong, isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a helpful utility nonetheless, and it does work to help me reduce my screen time. By creating custom modes that regulate my alerts and notifications, it allows me to stay in the moment across all my Apple devices and not get distracted by notifications. I use focus every day. One of my favorite automations in my daily work routine is how you can customize different focus modes to turn on at different times of the day and based on your geolocation. My work mode turns on automatically as I arrive into my department to study, or at my college library, or when I sit down to work at my desk, I manually turn it on. It stops me receiving all my notifications and alerts except ones that I allow, and then I'm able to view them at the end of my study session. Because I have a custom background for the work focus mode, it's a great visual cue for me to get to work. And I also use the sleep focus each night. It helps me with supporting my usual 5 AM wake up routine. As I get into bed, it automatically stops me receiving all alerts and notifications, and it also reminds me to wind down ahead of getting into bed. You can turn focus on in the settings and customize your focus options and choose to allow certain notifications as well as silencing others. You can also add filters to customize when you want the focus mode to turn on and disable or enable time-sensitive notifications. It's pretty customizable, and you can experiment with it to figure out how you want to receive alerts and notifications, ultimately to reduce your screen time. Limit your notifications. As a medical doctor, one of the worst parts of my job is carrying a bleep. No matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm having a quick nap on a night shift, or whether I'm with a patient at the end of their life, or at an arrest call, I have to be able to respond to my bleep. It's a necessary part of my job, but it's a constant drag on my attention and my peace of mind. I've always held the view that your phone is a phone and not a bleep for a reason. You simply can't be reachable at all times. You have to take control of your phone and your screen time before it takes control of you. And this is especially important with ADHD. You can't have it dominate over your attention and focus. In Cal Newport's Deep Work, he drives home the point of deep work, performing a task in a state of 100% distraction-free concentration that pushes your cognitive abilities. 1 hour of intentional, uninterrupted, distraction-free work can be worth several hours or even days of work where you're constantly distracted. That's the way I look at it. Now, if, like me, focus modes don't quite cut it for you, I've got another line of defense for you. You have to audit your app notifications. For 99.9% of apps, you simply don't need to be notified or take any immediate action. So I've gone through all my apps and only have a handful of apps for which I have notifications on. I have all notifications off for my instant messaging apps, including WhatsApp, aside from messages and my emails, so my family and work colleagues can reach me. I find there's very rarely an emergency over text, and should there be an emergency, I can always be reachable on my phone. If you are not able to be as strict as me with your notifications, then there is also scheduled notification summaries that you can use to summarize your notifications at the end of each day. Whatever you decide, the key is to reduce your screen time, take control of your notifications, and not allow them to interrupt your workflow or attention. Set up time limits. Another great way to limit your screen time and spend less time procrastinating is by turning on and auditing your screen time statistics. Go through and study your phone habits and see what trends you're seeing. Try to see where you can limit your screen time. I've put in place time limits to stop myself using certain apps for too long in my day, especially near essay deadlines and exams. It's important not to set your time limits too strict though, but use them as guides to reduce your screen time slowly. You don't want to limit your apps so much that you simply stop enjoying your life and your phone becomes unusable. To be extra safe, you could try giving your screen time password to your partner. That way, you don't need to rely on your limited willpower and have an accountability partner to help keep you accountable when you really need it and your willpower is waning. We all have times like that and we all need help. Stop using social media apps on your phone. After reading Cal Newport's deep work early on at medical school, I totally moved away from my reliance on social media. I ended up deleting my Snapchat, heavily limited my Facebook and Instagram accounts, and pretty much only used Twitter and LinkedIn for networking, and TikTok to run my social media project. I recently decided, however, to delete all my social networking apps from my phone again for the month of Ramadan. I realized just how much I was going onto my social media apps on my phone, not because I was bored or because I wanted to, but because it was there, because of muscle memory. If I want to check something important on social media now, I'll just use my computer to log on because the barrier is so high. I can massively control for how frequently I'm doing this, and it's also harder to scroll endlessly on social media at my desktop computer. So try to see if you can replace your social media apps on your phone with having them on your desktop or an iPad. Again, you can be as strict or as open as you want. I just don't want to use the very limited willpower I have to stop myself using social media every single time I open my phone. So I just take it out of the equation as much as I can account for it at least. There's lots of workarounds that don't involve being as strict as me, including having a set time when you can use your social media, or just keep hold of your social media apps but place limits on them. I'll talk about a few more novel strategies like content blockers to limit your social media use in a few months' time, but these strategies should help you reduce your screen time significantly. Optimize your homepage with the visibility method. I mentioned earlier how changing your behaviors and building good habits stems fundamentally from a change of identity. And one of the ways I've always been aspiring to be a productivity ninja with ADHD has been having productive and helpful apps on my homepage and placing social media and time sunk apps away from my homepage, or deleting them altogether on my phone, so there's a greater barrier to access them. James Clear describes this approach as the visibility method. Instead of wasting time reading news or on social media, as soon as I unlock my phone, I want to make it easier for me to access Notion, my prayer apps, Audible, Calm, Notes, and several apps related to my PhD or my YouTube channel. So I'm more likely to use them over social media and other apps that aren't going to help reduce my screen time or advance my goals. It's all about leading the life you want to live with ADHD, to become the person you want to be. It's more important than ever to heavily control your environment, your external stimuli, and limit your screen time with ADHD so you can get rid of distractions and avoid procrastinating from doing the studying or tasks you need to do to advance your goals. Your phone can be a huge time sunk, or it can be a productivity enabler. And I hope in this video I've outlined a few strategies that you can implement to to help reduce your screen time from things that aren't important in your life and find more focus among the chaos that is ADHD. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, let me know in the comment section below what you learned, and like this video and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with more videos on the systems, frameworks and gadgets that I use to find focus and overcome procrastination with ADHD every single day at university. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.